My name is Lanier Shook, and I am the Information Collector. I'm coming to you today from Simpsonville, South Carolina, which is one of the most popular communities, not only in the upstate, South Carolina, but in all of the Southeast for new arrivals. If you're interested in moving to Simpsonville, you should look into it sooner rather than later. Today, I am here to tell you about the next revolution in American education. The reopening of schools in the fall has become the latest controversy that COVID-19 has brought the United States. It will also bring the greatest transformation in the American education system since the baby boom. Over the next few minutes, I'll explain what this is, why I think this will happen, and what you should do to gain a personal advantage. COVID-19 is a little like an argument that reveals cracks in a relationship. Now, this is not a political program. There's plenty of those. I just share information that I believe will be to your advantage, and this will be to your advantage. COVID-19 revealed cracks in the American society, and none of those are wider than in the American education system. As a disclaimer, I was homeschooled, but I've done IT work in the Asheville city schools, and I assure you they are top-notch. This is not about public education, but this is about what I believe will happen next. I'm telling you right now that private education in America is about to see a boom in growth. We're looking at a 20 to 25% growth in private schools. Here's why. First off, the Department of Education leadership right now supports private schools. Secondly, there are a lot of parents who cannot afford to stay home with their children, and therefore cannot afford school closures. And finally, the private school sector is ready for this. It's mature. It's got around 40 years of experience. It has capacity. According to statistics by the National Center for Educational Statistics Digest of Educational Statistics, private schools only have about 10% of the students that public schools have. In the past, parochial schools, charter schools, homeschools, and online schools have appealed mostly on ideology and quality of education. Now, this has drawn in the upper class students and middle class students and upper middle class students. In the fall, lower middle class and working class parents will not be able to afford to stay home with their students. These are who private education will appeal to. Yes, this is a generalization, but there's enough truth to it for me to be making this prediction. A 5 to 10% gain in private education would be a huge victory for that sector. Okay, how does this matter to you? Well, for starters, American public schools are well developed. The National Digest of Educational Statistics estimates that on average, most of America's 84,000 schools are in good shape. In fact, only 9% rank as poor in physical condition. Private schools have no public funding and they run at capacity. If you are in business, this is where you could make money. Real estate, finance, food service, furniture, legal services, even motor vehicles. Some of them have to have buses. Someone will sell these items to private schools. It could be you. Secondly, if you are in the private school industry, now is the time to start looking into this. Your region may not be affected that much, but there will be federal money available. Also, you'll need to reserve facilities and equipment. You can advertise to interested parents. This is the time to look into this. Third, if you are an interested parent who will be affected, now is the time to do two things. One, reserve your child's place in school. If you are interested in a private school, get in the queue before all the slots are taken. Remember, these schools run at capacity. Secondly, scholarship dollars will be available. Not only federal dollars, but also the patrons and supporters of these private schools will put money up to get students in their doors. In fact, as we were going to publication, 106.3 FMWORD reported that Henry McMaster, the governor of South Carolina, was in Greenville today at the Hampton Park Christian School. He was announcing the governor's education emergency relief. These are 5,000. There are 5,000 grants of $6,500 each available on a per need basis to private schools, parochial schools, and independent schools. The opportunity is there, and if you want your child to receive this financial assistance, you should move on it. And finally, if you are a member of the public education group, if you work at one of the public schools, or you support your public school, now is the time to get involved. I was homeschooled, but my loyalty is to you, my viewer. So contact federal, state, local officials. Contact your politicians. Get them to find out what parents need and meet the needs of those parents. This is a momentous event in American history. You need to be in a position to take advantage.